All right, welcome to my Patreon. Now, what I've been saying all along is the things you've witnessed now are nothing. This is just the beginning. The COVID-19 lockdown, being forced to wear a mask, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, statues being toppled over, which is a common sign of regime change. The war you see going on between the left and the right, city blocks being taken over in Seattle, forced vaccines being spoken about in the future. All these things are just the beginning. It hasn't even started yet. Now, I want to draw your attention to Albert Pike. If you don't know who Albert Pike was, he's a famous Freemason. He wrote a few letters and a book. But I want to read you a quote from one of his letters. Right down here, the Third World War must be fermented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam and political Zionism mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke the formidable social cataclysm, which in all its honor will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and the most bloody turmoil. And you can read this on your own. That's Albert Pike's letter for 3 world wars. But he has predicted that the Illuminati's plans are to put the Muslims and the Zionists against each other, the Muslims and the Christians against each other. And I have a couple pieces of information that I'd like to share with you today. The first one is an article. We're going to briefly read over it, and then I'm going to show you a video, and this is very disturbing. These things that they have planned, they're all coming to fruition just as they've been not prophesied, but I guess planned. Let's take a look at this. Minnesota State Rep, Antifa and Muslim groups plan to police Minneapolis under Muslim rule. I wonder if that's why we're wearing a face mask. They're getting us prepared for Sharia law. As the city of Minneapolis moves to dismantle its police force, Minnesota State Rep Steve Green on Tuesday stated the obvious, that virtually everyone else has been tiptoeing around and pretending isn't there. What you're looking at, in my humble opinion, is communism moving into Minneapolis and St. Paul. And not just communism, but the leftist Islamic alliance. Green asserted that Antifa and Muslim organizations plan to police Minneapolis under Muslim rule. Those who scoff at such a notion simply aren't paying attention to recent developments. They've abolished the police force 2 weeks ago, which now they're talking about bringing back. Some cited example how in the days after the killing of Mr. Floyd, teams made up of dozens of members of the American Indian movement patrolled the streets, directed traffic in the Little Earth housing community in Minneapolis. Muslim leader, I'm not going to butcher his name, explained what it meant. The mosques need protection, and the MCP cars can help stop people who are not following the rules and regulations of Sharia law, covering your face and head, doing what they're not supposed to be doing, but still doing it. According to a Muslim involved with the MCP, this would involve stopping Muslim women being out after dark, Muslim men hanging out in the corners doing dope, Muslims drinking liquor, and enforcing basically the fundamentals of Sharia law. They want to do this in Minneapolis, by the way. They want to launch a community patrol in Minneapolis. That's what CPM stands for. It's likely to focus on the same things. So what I'm trying to bring to your attention, and I got a great video to show you how quickly this is happening, is that a new regime is taking over America. The way America was, I don't believe they could have defeated us. They had to destroy our police force, which they're currently working on doing. They had to turn the people against the police. They have to make complete chaos in the streets and then come with a solution. And they've funded these organizations to get out on the street, take things over, protest. Matter of fact, somebody shared with me on Facebook today, I should have pulled it in the computer, Antifa members waving the UN flag. You still wonder who's paying them. But anyway, let's watch a short little video here. It's only 2 minutes long. This should freaking shock you. Florida City Council prays to Satan's name and Allah. Okay? Check this out.
For the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Vice Mayor Scott Maxwell.
Just wait, here it comes.
Duly noted. Our collective atheism, which is to say loving empathy, scientific evidence, and critical thinking, leads us to believe that we can create a better, more equal community without religious divisions. May we pray together. Mother Earth, we gather today in your redeeming and glorious presence to invoke your eternal guidance in the universe, the original creator of all things. May the efforts of this council blend the righteousness of Allah with the all-knowing wisdom of Satan. May Zeus, the great God of justice, grant us strength tonight. Jesus might forgive our shortcomings, while Buddha enlightens us through his divine affection. We praise you, Krishna, for the sanguine sacrifice.
So, wow, dude. This is mind-blowing. Do you get it? They want a religious war. They're pushing for it. The Florida City Council prays to Satan and Allah here in America. Now, I'm not religiously biased. You know what I mean? I think people should have the freedom to worship whatever God they want. But what does concern me is I know their plan. They're planning to have a religious war. Christians and Muslims and Zionists, they're planning this. And they're doing a pretty good job of it. They've got Muslims policing the streets, talking about Sharia law in Minneapolis. The Florida City Council is invoking Satan and Allah. Do you see what they're doing? This is just the beginning. The things we're seeing this year, oh, by winter, it's going to be 100 times worse. This election is going to probably topple America further than we've ever seen. We're going to see a domino effect of people taking over cities and making their own police force. And things take time. They don't happen overnight. And right now, they're getting rid of the police. They want the police out of the way so that they can bring in protesters, groups like Black Lives Matter, Antifa, Muslim groups, to take over and police. And I don't know what we can do to stop it. They have the media on their side. I love you guys very much. I just wanted to share this disturbing information with you today. Thank you very, very much for your support. On the 1st, I got a surprise for you guys. We're going to do something special here on Patreon. So thank you very much for your support.
Jonxarmy signing out from the belly of the beast.